And everyone, it is so exciting to be back here again for another question for reflection. I am loving these because I am seeing them show up so much in my life. And I have always paid attention to the energies and whatnot, but usually the bigger ones, right? I think that's all of us. We pay attention to the traumas, the chaotic, the hard. And what I've been seeing with these is that there are really frequent energies that come to play, like ingresses. I've been doing a ton of ingresses. This is an ingress video, and we usually feel those. This one is not going to be one that we usually feel, but just like when the sun moves into Virgo every year around the 22nd of August, I don't know about you, but I start feeling like, oh, I want some hot teas. I'm a cold drink person, or I want to drink coffee, or I want some soups, or I want to put on my fuzzy, like I have my nice fuzzy sweater on right now because it's a little chilly, and I get excited versus in the spring when I get excited to do a tank top, shorts, flip flop type thing. And these are the energies that are surrounding us all the time. And what's becoming more and more clear to me is how much of life and energy passes all of us by, and we don't even realize it because we have so many technological advances. Now, I am not against those in any way, shape, or form. I love them. But there are really basic things about life that we don't pay attention to. So the topic for this wonderful awesomeness video is Pluto's ingress back into Capricorn. Pluto has been playing ping pong between Aquarius, Capricorn since 2023 with longer stints in each sign. And then it's going to go into Aquarius for about 20 years, I think in November. So our question for reflection is going to be, what has changed so much that I can put it into then and now categories? Now, that's going to seem really big. And as I go through some of this information, it's going to be really big. And so don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it, Pluto is obsessive. So don't let it become obsessive in your mind. Like, I can't think of anything, or this, or this, or this. Just kind of go chill with it. So what we're going to cover in this video, we're going to cover some of Pluto's characteristics. We're going to cover why Pluto seems important right now. Like, why? Why am I even talking about this? Why am I doing this video? Who cares? It's a slow planet. What happened at the same time Pluto moved back into Capricorn that gave it a kind of punch? We're going to go over a few experiences of other people. Yay. Thank you for people who are sending theirs in. And also people around me that I can watch and to talk about. Right? So not really my experiences this time. Everyone clap. Yay. Okay. And then we're also going to go over the Pluto dates that have been in and out of Capricorn and Aquarius. Here's my call to action for you. The reason I'm not sending anyone to my website right now is because it's kind of a mess and I'm really changing a bunch of things. So if you're trying to get an appointment or schedule a video reading or anything, you're just going to want to text me or reach out at susan@astrologyandsoul.com. Here is something that you can do, though, that is super exciting, I think. You can send me a video of yourself, and there's two things to it. Number one, most importantly, in that video, tell me that it's okay that I publish you on my social media, that you're giving me your consent. And then number two, talk about any planet or zodiac sign, only one. So only do Virgo, only do Mercury, only do the moon. And just tell me what you think of it. Say this video's on the moon and blah, 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 blah. What is super fun for me, and you can do this as well, is video people that don't know a lot, or just ask them questions. I've been trying to do this with my kids, and they always have to play football or basketball, and they don't know what I'm asking them to do, but that's always how it is at my house. No, Mom, we can't. I will give you a $5 credit on anything, any of my services, for every video I use on social media. And right now I would use a ton of them. So that's a ton of options you have. Let's like 24 times 5. I don't even know. But the credits, I will let them add on. So that is my call to action. Film people, film yourself. Do bloopers, like send them in, all astrology related, to that same email, susan@astrologyandsoul.com. Put it on the screen, pause, copy it down, and send those in. And any I use, I'm so excited. And, I'm going to be coming out with different sprays for all the planets and signs and houses that, it could get you a time. I'm coming out with classes. I'm coming out with small video classes. I'm coming out with big video classes. Anyway, you get the drift, and I don't want to keep talking, so this is way too long. Again, the question for reflection is, what has changed so much that I can put it into then and now categories? Okay. What is Pluto? What does it even symbolize? What is it synchronistic with? Pluto is change. Pluto is transformation. And it's not just casual, it's deep. So meaning it's such big change, it changes you on a cellular level. Pluto is death and rebirth. It can also be death. Pluto is deep, deep riches and glory, because that's such a transformation, right? Pluto is the Phoenix rising, who has to go through this process of deterioration, wilting, dying, and then comes back in a flame. Pluto is all of those. I'm trying to think. Pluto is associated with Scorpio. Do not get me wrong. Pluto is not Scorpio, and Scorpio is not Pluto. Huge pet peeve of mine is when people want to say a planet is a sign, is a house. No, we don't do the ABCs here. No, there are huge differences. And saying huge, there are huge differences, but they're so kind of minute and hard to decipher. Someone's a damn good astrologer if they can tell you the differences, because most people just want to say Aries is Mars, which is the first house. That is not how it rolls, at least not with me. Huge pet peeve of mine. Anyway, those are Pluto's characteristics. See, I just got obsessive. I'm living Pluto right now. It's deeply ingrained in me, and that has changed because I used to be one of those. And it has changed since Pluto went into Capricorn and has been squaring my moon, opposing my sun, and trining my ascendant all at the same time. So there you go. That's what I'm talking about. A deep cellular change. Some of them you're not going to be as emotional about, but Pluto does bring deep emotions. Okay, so why is Pluto so important right now? Why? It is touching me in all those big three areas. So maybe I just think it's important. If you think it's important, thumbs up me. But Pluto's been doing some really synchronistic things. So the planet itself takes about 248 years to complete one orbit around the sun. It takes different time frames because it's a different shaped orbit. In different zodiac signs, you'll get a different amount of time in each of them, but to completely take one cycle around the sun is about 248 years. Pluto moved into Aquarius on January 20th, 2024, right with the sun. They were literally seconds apart. That is huge. That is huge. And every time the sun is one body with a planet, it starts a new synodic cycle, meaning there is a cycle as the sun goes around, because Pluto's not going to move very much, that comes that from the time it hits to the next time it hits, which will be next January, February-ish, that you go through a new phase of Pluto, and you would want to look at Pluto in your birth chart. Okay, number two of why I feel like it's so important is a few weeks ago, I talked about a Saturn-Jupiter square. And they started their own synodic cycle together at this 0 degrees Aquarius on the solstice 2020, so December 21st of 2020. That cycle only resets every 14-ish years. So for the first time that Saturn and Jupiter came into a square in August, and we're going to be filling that all the way through next June, Pluto is going to be sitting pretty much at that degree. And when it happened, Pluto was at that degree. So excessive change, excessive transformation, excessive, deep, deep, deep. Pluto, Jupiter and Saturn have huge historical symbolism as far as history and mundane astrology goes. I'm not going to get into that here because I want people to embrace all of themselves and love them. And they can do that. And so you can find someone else who does mundane astrology. I love it. It's so cool. I'm not an expert. So what happened at the same time? And this happened, I don't even think I told you. Let's share the chart. So screen share number one. Okay, so this happened on September 1st at about 6:08 p.m. Mountain time. Remember, it's always mountain time. So here we are. Let's see, my screen is 1:56 p.m. and Pluto right here is in Aquarius. And if I go forward, so 1 hour, we're still at 00 Aquarius. Another hour, 00, another hour. It's going to take a few hours. Okay, this next one's going to do it. Nope. What is going on? There we go. Oh, I forget my clock. This program is on Eastern time. So by 6:56 Mountain time, 8:56 Eastern time, we see that Pluto has gone into Capricorn again. That was again on September 1st of 2024. All right, we're going to stop this share. So what else happened? Well, actually, let's keep it going. What else happened that day? I'm going to show you. I'm going to go back a few hours. And right now we are looking at Uranus. Uranus is another outer planet. So Pluto's an outer planet, which means it does things slowly because it's far away from us to even feel its effects. It moves slow. It does things slow. It changes us. Our cycles of change with Pluto and all the outer planets, which are Neptune and Uranus, are slow. So right now we're looking at Uranus right here. And I'm going to go forward an hour. So it's 6:56 p.m. And it has an S here because that means station. So here we go. An hour. Am I going the right way? An hour. Come on. Oh, it's still kind of station. So what happened is There we go. It takes it a minute because it stations and holds, right? So at 11 by 11:56 the next day, it's stating that it's retrograde. So it stops and stations, and that's what happened at the same time, Pluto. So the station started, let's see if I have the time. No, I don't. Just 9:01. Oh, yeah, the station started 9:17 a.m. Mountain Time. So, and then it really shows up. So that shows you how slow they move, right? And when something is going forward and starts slowing down to station and then move another direction, think about the momentum it has to have and how slowly that is. So Uranus, again, another outer planet, it brings shocks, it brings surprises, experiment with it. So what I'm saying is experiment with this Pluto stuff now that it's back in Capricorn. The other thing that happened around the same time is we were being set up for a new moon on the 2nd. So this is baked into the new moon. See, we have the moon coming close, getting almost right there to have a new moon. All right. Oh, I don't think I ever turned it back on. Sorry, guys. All right, here's this Uranus thing. Well, that's funny. We'll just go back and show you. See where it says station? And then right here, now it says retrograde. Thank you for letting me just talk. Okay, now we're going to do the stop share. Blooper, right? Okay, so it's baked into the new moon, meaning, so if Uranus is surprise, liberation, change, and it's stationing to go retrograde at the same time, Pluto's moving back into Capricorn, that means the universe is telling us, figure out what some of those changes have been. And if you haven't already, start experimenting. Start your own personal change, revolution within yourself. Like if there's something that you have felt stuck on that Pluto just hasn't kicked your ass to move, it is saying, figure it out. Figure it out, because I don't want to shock and electrocute you to, which is Uranus, right, to craziness. So that happened as well as the new moon. So both of those are baked in to this new moon cycle, which has an eclipse and an eclipse on top of Neptune. The other cool thing that's going on right now, and I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to actually share it. Share screen. Okay. The other cool thing right now is, if you can see, we have Neptune right here at 29 degrees. Uranus right here at 27 degrees. And Pluto right here at 29 degrees. Those are all three of the outer planets. They are all having close conversations and effects on one another. It's a trine between Pluto and Uranus, and then both of them are in a sextile to Neptune. So trines are pretty easy. They flow pretty easy. So what's going on? What is changing or revolutionizing in you? Or are you doing experiments that you haven't even noticed that are going along with this deep change? And then where's the Neptune playing for that? Neptune is at 29.0 Pisces right now. Neptune's the ether. Neptune is what can't I touch, but I know. Neptune can also be wanting to tap out, or what am I not seeing? Now it's in Pisces, which also has some of those tendencies, but they're not the same. Again, I'm not going to go into the ABC thing again. They're not the same. And what can happen with Neptune sometimes is you don't even realize you're just kind of going with the flow. You're like, oh, everything's great. And then you understand the water's up to here and you're about to drown. So you're like, oh, wait, I can't breathe. And I can see that I can now see I didn't see this. It's almost Neptune and Pisces to me is kind of like you're standing in fog and you're trying to clear it out. And this might be a moment where you can see, especially with the eclipse that is happening on the 17th, I believe, of September. It is a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. So put all those things together, but in this video, I'm getting way off base because I just love talking about all this stuff, and say to yourself, what has changed so much? So does this stuff really happen? There's two experiences that I had, both with people I know, clients, whatever. The first one, I know a person has a 29-degree Capricorn rising. And so Pluto moved over and they fell. They fell. So if you know the first house and your ascendant, that is your vitality. That is your health. That is, and they had a really scary fall. They are okay. But that happened. And I was like, oh my gosh. The other thing that happened was I had someone call me. Wait, was it Sun? Was it? I don't remember, but I was working. Oh, it was Monday because it was Labor Day. I was working my rugby job, and they called and they were like, "What happened?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." They said, "You said in September things were going to heat up for me again, and they have. And last night was a shit show." And I'm like, "I don't have your chart memorized. I have no idea." So they're like, "I want to do an emergency session." I was like, okay. So we did an emergency session, and I forgot their moon is at like 20 something, late degrees. I think it's 28. It's not quite 29. Libra. So we had a 2-hour emergency session. Not only that, there was other things going on that Pluto was actually really affecting, because Uranus, would that be right? Trying to make sure this is right. Uranus, yeah, okay, I am right. Uranus is on their ascendant. So 2 people with ascendants. Isn't that interesting? I didn't even put that together. Called that day. Because so the one person fell, the other person had a huge disruption in family life. That's what we'll call it. And needed to know what was happening. If you had an experience, I would say I really didn't. I knew it was coming though. And I set an alarm on my watch. It was like, da, 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 just working. When it actually changed, I'd love to like be present and feel the energy when things actually change, especially big things like the outer planets. But I don't know how it got by me. It did. La 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 la. So this is going to be like thinking of the examples, and I actually do have a moon and sun. And okay, anyway, Pluto, yeah, whatever. The people that this is going to be most important to, or who would feel this the most strongly right now, are 28 to 29 degrees Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, and 0 to 2 degrees fixed sign planets like Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So some examples of this. Well, I'm going to hold off on that. First of all, I'm going to give you the dates, because that's just right now, right? We have had Pluto moving through Capricorn since 2008. And then in the past few years is when it's been bouncing back and forth. So since 2008, if you can believe that. And then it bounced into Aquarius for just a minute on March 23rd, 2023. Until June 11th of 2023. So we would have got a little taste. And then in Capricorn, it went back into Capricorn until January 20th, I already talked about that, 2024, right as the sun moved in. Then it moved back into wait, it was in Capricorn. Sorry. I'm going to say that again. It was in Aquarius, March 23rd, 2023 to 6/11, 2023. And then it went back into Capricorn until January 20th, 2024. Sometimes I get too excited. Okay. Then it, right with the sun, it moved into Aquarius on January 20th, 2024 until September 1st, 2024, where right now it is back into Capricorn again, and it stays there until November 19th, 2024, until March 8th of 2043. Okay, so we have like 20 years. That's why the question is like, what's really changed? So if you can go back to 2008 and think about the world, the things I really noticed when it went in 2023 and then out was AI became a big deal. Then AI didn't become a big deal. Then in January, another big deal, almost to where not almost, I would say by the end of this stunt in Aquarius, AI is just going to be a thing, right? It's going to be the new thing. No one's even going to blink an eye. Yet those time frames when it bounced in and out of Aquarius, yeah, we started having to work out some kinks, which probably aren't worked out. But I would, that's a great example of a then and now category, and then bring it into your life. The example I will give for me, and that is because it's been opposing my sun, squaring my moon, and trining my ascendant and Pluto, because Pluto's on my ascendant, is a deep, deep change, which is, this is why I wanted you to know they're not all going to be like totally traumatic, but it is a deep cellular change. Is I went from being a night person my entire life to now I'm a morning person and I want to get up by like 5:30. Before, if I woke up at 5:30, I was like, oh my gosh, I would usually stay up many, many nights till 3, 4 a.m. and then sleep in and do my work. So take some time, sit back, think about that question. What has changed so much, so much that I can put it into then and now categories? All right, everyone. Stopping the share. My shares are all over the place today. That's so funny. I just get so excited. Okay, well, that was a lot. Okay, enjoy your day and have a beautiful time thinking about then and now. Mwah.